In the previous video, we saw how to start Visual Studio and create a solution. Um, so in this video, we're going to look at how you can load back a solution you've created before, and then also look at, if we still have enough time, we can look at the interface, the IDE of Visual Studio, so you get familiar with them. So this is Visual Studio. I'll just start it. Okay, there are actually two ways you can load back your solution in Visual Studio. So the first way is to start Visual Studio and then go to open a project or solution. That means you already have the project that you've created. You remember we created my first app as the solution, and we kept it on the desktop inside this my apps folder. So this is one way you can open it. You start Visual Studio, then you go into this open project or solution. It now gives you this browser that allows you to search for the location or the path where you kept the solution. So since we know where we kept it on the desktop, I'll just go to desktop, and then I have my apps folder there. I'll double click on my app folder, and inside it I have my first app folder, and then you can see the solution, my first app.sln. Okay, actually probably the reason why I'm seeing the extension here is because I think I set my computer to be showing me the extension of my files by default. So I think by default in your own computer you might not see the .sln, as if you do not enable your computer or your storage to be showing you the extension of files. You just see my first app, but the key thing you will notice is this little icon on the left of it. The icon looks like the logo of the Visual Studio, a window with a little C# at the top. It's not so clear, you might not be able to see it well, but if you look at it on your own system, you'll see it. It's like the logo of this Visual Studio, this like an infinity symbol on the bottom left of the window, and then C# written at the top right of the window. So that signifies that is the solution. So you just click on that my first app and click open. Once you do that, Visual Studio will open the solution for you. So enjoying Visual Studio. This is just a pop-up that might show up once in a while. I'll just click don't show again so that it goes away. Okay, so now we have opened that solution that we created. You remember when we created it, we didn't change anything in the code, because the reason in fact you're seeing code already written here, you can see we have some code already written, is because Visual Studio automatically writes it for you. When we chose, we wanted a console application project, when we said we wanted to create a project, a C# project that has a template of a console application. So Visual Studio has already written this code for us. Don't worry too much for now about the code. We'll go over it and we'll see how we can write our own code. The main thing we want to look at in this video is the interface. That is this black area where you'll be working in Visual Studio, the whole window. Now the thing about Visual Studio is that like most applications in designing or in programming or in things that allow you to do complex things, you'll see that you have several different windows all combined into under one application. So this is the main window. Let me just minimize it a bit so that you can see it very you can see what I'm saying. Okay, so this is the main window. This I've reduced the size so it doesn't cover the whole desktop. As you can see, this is the main window. Everything inside Visual Studio is going to be within this window. So I'll go back and enlarge it so it covers the whole desktop. Now, with that inside that main window, you have so many other sub windows inside it. So for example, now you see this where it says program.cs. This is a window that opens a file that shows you the contents of a file within your project. Another window again is the Solutions Explorer or Solution Explorer. Look at it here. It says Solution Explorer. The Solution Explorer shows you everything in a hierarchical view, everything that is inside your solution. If you look inside the window here of the Solution Explorer, the first thing you will see is Solution, then the name of the solution, My First App. Remember, we named the solution My First App. Then it shows you how many projects you have inside the solution. For now, we have only one project, so it's saying one of one project. And the project is this. That is the next thing you see under the solution. Beside the project, you will see a little like triangle pointing downwards that allows you to see what is inside. If I should click that triangle, it will close. That means it's like I've closed the folder of this project. So the folder or the project is called My First App. Remember, the first project inside our solution has the same name with the solution. So the solution is My First App. The first project also, which is the only project we have inside this solution, is also My First App. Now, if I click the left, this little triangle, if I go on it, you'll see it gets highlighted in white. If I click on it, it opens the project and it shows me all the contents all the contents of the My First App project. Now these two, we have dependencies, we have program. These two are the contents of My First App. Remember, we didn't create all these things. Visual Studio automatically created them for us the moment we told it that we want to create a program or we want to create a console application. So it saves us the stress of having to go and create all these things by ourselves. So that is one good thing about Visual Studio. Most of it just takes you directly to where you can start writing your code without bothering you too much about setting things up on the computer. So like for instance, if you're programming on a Mac, for example, the way you set up most of these things like the dependencies will probably be different from the way you set it up if you're working on a Windows machine. So for Visual Studio, it doesn't, if you're using Visual Studio, it doesn't matter which platform you're using. It will do everything, all the preparation for creating your program. It will do it for you. All you'll be left to do is to write the instructions for that computer to run. So that's a very good thing about Visual Studio that you should know. So when you see all these code that have already been written at the beginning, Visual Studio does that for you. So yes, back into our project, you can see we have two things. We have dependencies. Like I said, that was set up by Visual Studio. If you see, the dependencies also has some things inside. It has frameworks inside. Inside frameworks, we have something like Microsoft.NET Core.app. So don't worry too much about all those things. Just know that they are necessities when you want to create a console application. Then the next thing inside your project is the program.cs file. Now this file is the file where we are seeing all this code, all this using system, and it's also the file where we're going to write our instructions. It is actually a file holding the main class of the program. But for now, don't worry about things like classes. We'll look at them later in learning programming. So this file, the reason why I want you to notice this file is because sometimes when you open Visual Studio, you will see this window, this program where it says program.cs. you will see a little X on the right of it. Just I'll click on that X and you'll see what happens. So it has closed that window. Let me also close this one. So it has closed that window. Now you're left with only blank space, and you'll be wondering, oh, where's my code? The thing is, your code is actually still there. It is inside program.cs. So sometimes when you open Visual Studio and you see your Solutions Explorer is there, showing your solution, showing you the name of your project, don't worry, even if you don't see where you write your code. The where you write your code is inside the program.cs. So you just click on this little triangle next to the project. You click on it, it will open the contents, and then you double click on this program.cs and it will open the program. It will open the code for you. So this is where you are to write your code. Okay, that's I think I've gone so much in trying to explain the interface. So yes, these are the two major windows for now. Don't worry too much. You'll see an output window below here. Don't worry too much about that. I just focus on the Solution Explorer window and this window that shows the contents of a file. Those two windows are the main windows. Once you have those two windows, I'm sure you'll be able to load your program and write your program and save it and load it back later when you want to use it. So I showed you one way of opening your solution. We will open Visual Studio and then we chose open project, open existing project, and then we browsed to where the project is, which is our desktop, and then we loaded it up. The next way, because I told you there are two ways, let's close Visual Studio for now. The other way you can open your solution is to go directly to the folder or directory where you kept it. So we know we kept it inside my apps. Inside my apps folder, you'll see my first app folder, which houses the whole solution. So you can see this is the solution, my first app.sln. Like I told you before, depending on the way your storage is set up, you might not see the .sln, but this is what will give it away, the left icon that has the little infinity symbol. So this is the solution file. You can just double click on the solution file, and what happens is that Visual Studio will automatically start itself and then open the solution for you. So I'll just double click on that, and Visual Studio has launched. I'll minimize this, and you can see it takes us directly to the solution. So you have two ways you can do it. If you prefer that way, you can go ahead and do that, and Visual Studio is running now. So for now, I think maybe we should end this video here so it doesn't get too long. I believe you should be able to open an existing solution and also save. Okay, I didn't show you how to save, even though when you create your solution for the first time, it saves automatically for you. So let's just make a little change here and then we'll save it. So instead of this hello world, I'll just remove that and I'll call it doctors first program. And now I've made changes. So before I close Visual Studio, it's good I save the change I made in my program. So I'll go to File. Notice where I'm going to save. You go to File. Now you have, if you check all the options in File, you see Save All. Now I will suggest you always choose Save All for now. just always use save all. There's a save program, there's save program as, then there's save all. The reason why I suggest you use save all is that save all save changes not just in the only file you changed. You might have several files inside your solution or inside your project. So if you make a lot of changes in all those files, the moment you choose save all, it will save the entire solution. So any change that you made in your program is going to get saved. So I've clicked on save all, and that's it. That's how to save. Remember, we've seen how to load back your solution. So I'll end the video here for now.